More potatoes, anyone?
No, thanks, Mom. How's some more meat, Dad?
Sure thing, Charlie. By the way, Doris, what was it you said you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, yes. How could I forget that? It's the car, Frank. It acted funny again today, and I had to leave it at the garage while I shopped. The bill came to $35.
Oh, not again.
You just had it fixed last week.
Yes, and that was another $25 then. Seems like a car ought to hold up 3 years without going to pieces like this.
I think we ought to get a new car, Frank.
Oh, boy. A new car would be snazzy, Dad.
Yes, it's also expensive. I don't think we can afford a new car, Doris. Money's a little tight right now.
But it's not practical to be putting so much money out on a 3-year-old car, Frank. Why, we've spent almost $200 in the last few months. There doesn't seem to be any end to it.
Yes, that's true.
I think we'd be further ahead with a new car, dear.
Oh, come on, Dad. Let's get a new car.
Well, all right, we can look at them. Maybe we would be better off with a new car.
Oh, boy. That's wonderful, Dad.
What kind of car will we get?
When do you get it? Tomorrow? A Thunderbird would be snazzy. But it wouldn't be big enough for this family, would it, Dad?
No, I'm afraid not, Charlie. We need a car with a lot of room. Something very practical that we can use for vacations. Something I can take on business trips, too. So I'm afraid that rules out a Thunderbird, son. After the trouble we've had, I'm going to look around a little bit this time before I decide what we'll get.
Hey, Dad, I know what you ought to get. It goes fast, and it's got plenty of room. It's pretty, too.
What's that, Beetle?
A fire engine.
Here's an interesting article. In 1953, station wagons accounted for 6% of car sales. In 1958, their popularity had advanced to the point where 1 out of every 5 cars sold was a station wagon. There is great loyalty among station wagon owners. Surveys show that 7 out of 10 owners plan to buy another wagon as their next car. That's pretty high loyalty. Wagons must be something special. 2 out of every 10 owners of other models of the low-priced 3 plan to switch to station wagons. Station wagon. Wonder how one would be for this family. Certainly plenty of room. Be good for vacation. Plenty of room for all the kids' junk. Then when I go off on hunting trips with the fellas, wouldn't have to worry about keeping the upholstery clean. It'd take garden supplies. Good way to carry plants and bushes Doris is always finding. It'd be good for business trips. Plenty of room. Say, I think I'll look into station wagons. Hey, what's this? An ad for Ford station wagons. And they call themselves the Station Wagon Specialists. 50% of all wagons on the road today are Ford. More people buy them because more people like them. Well, what do you know? At that rate, I think I better look into a Ford.
Hey, Dad, can I talk to you a minute?
Sure, Beetle. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been thinking. I don't think we ought to buy a new car.
Why not, Beetle?
Well, you said we don't have very much money right now, and we have already got a car. And, Dad, I need a baseball bat, something awful.
Good morning, sir. You're interested in a new Ford? What car can I show you?
Well, I saw an ad in the paper last night on station wagons. I'd kind of like to look at wagons.
Sure thing. We have a choice of 6 different models, 2-door or 4-door, 6 or 9 passenger. Do you have a preference?
Well, there are 5 of us in the family, and just in case we have some extra people along sometime, I think I'd better look at the 9 passenger.
Fine. Here's the 9 passenger country sedan. Look inside. See how rich an interior it has? And it'll hold up just fine under the hardest, roughest wear you and your family can give it. Feel this foam rubber cushion. It's comfortable, isn't it? Nice and thick, soft.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's the cushioning for the third seat, which stows away out of sight when you're not using it. And you can use these cushions out of the car on picnics and so forth. Try it. Just pull up the seat, put on the cushion. You have as comfortable a seat as the other two. The kids just love to sit back here. You know, Ford's the only wagon that has a forward-facing third seat.
Oh, is that so?
That's right. The third seat in other wagons faces the rear, and that means passengers have to climb in over the tailgate and ride backwards and even talk backwards. That's not very natural. These Ford wagons are big wagons. They're 7 inches longer than last year's model. There's 13 cubic feet more load space, and incidentally, you'll have 2 inches more inside height than other wagons. You can drive or ride with your hat on. Look here. Ford's wide tailgate and big wraparound liftgate open instantly with one easy, single-handed motion. And the tailgate can be opened without lifting the liftgate. And look, fold away the second and third seat, and you have 92 cubic feet of load space. Almost big enough for a bowling alley.
Yes, that's easy to see. But how about the engine? What kind of engine can I get with this wagon?
I'm sure glad you asked that. We've got a great engine story. We have 4 different engines for you to choose from. And this year, you can get the actual Thunderbird engine if you desire. Ford's engines can't be beat for performance or economy. You know, it's really economical to operate a Ford station wagon.
Yes? How so?
Well, it operates on regular gas, no matter whether you have a 6 or a V8 engine. And Ford's full-flow oil filters continuously filter oil, so you can go 4,000 miles between oil changes instead of the customary 1,000 or 2,000.
Oh?
Think of the money you'll save on just these 2 items in the course of a year. You can save in other ways, too. For instance, the resale value of wagons is much higher than on other models. You come out further ahead with a wagon every time. And a Ford wagon costs less than comparable wagons of the most popular 3. That's important to your pocketbook, isn't it?
Yes, it sure is.
By the way, have you driven a '59 Ford wagon?
No, I haven't.
Well, come on with me. You don't know what you've been missing. Nice ride, isn't it?
Yes, better than I expected. I had no idea a wagon rode as well as a car. I always thought a wagon rode more like a truck.
Well, a lot of people still think that. But a Ford wagon is a car. It has the same suspension system as all our passenger cars.
Looks like all you have to do is get those people out in the wagon to prove that point.
Beetle, have you finished your lunch?
Yeah.
Then you'd better hurry back to school.
Mom, I've been thinking, if Dad's really going to get a new car, what kind of car do you think he'll get?
I'm sure I don't know, dear, but hurry up or you'll be late.
Maybe he'll get one of those kind that they have on TV that go faster than light.
I wonder what kind of car we should get. Sedan's probably the most practical with a family of 5. I wish we could get something, though, that was more fun.
Don't forget, friends, this is Ford Station Wagon Living Month, and Ford has 6 different models to meet your needs. So come on down to Ernie's Ford dealership today and drive away in a 1959 Ford station wagon.
A station wagon. That's it. That's just what we need. I'm going to go down and see them. Faster than light. Mr. Wilson, I've never seen a car that just fits for our family like this one. You know, I always thought that only people in the suburban areas drove station wagons. But after looking at it, I can understand why you say that as many city families buy wagons as suburban families. I guess wagons are becoming so popular you find buyers everywhere.
You sure do.
I can see so many good reasons for having a wagon. Going shopping, taking the children and their friends to scout meetings or to school.
That's right.
It's so versatile. It'll be fun to go on picnics in the summer or drive out to the lake for a swim. You can move things in it, too. These foam rubber seats are so comfortable. And this easy-to-clean upholstery is so important with children. My, it looks nice. And the color scheme is so beautiful. The colors blend together perfectly. I just love it. Well, Mr. Wilson, thank you very much. You've been very kind. You've really convinced me. Now I'm going home and sell my husband on getting a station wagon. Evening, dear. I have the most exciting news to tell you.
Yeah? What?
I've decided what kind of car we should get.
Now, wait a minute, Doris. You picked our last car. I've been thinking about the car, and I've decided what we should get myself.
Well, what's that, Frank?
Well, I think we ought to get a Ford station wagon.
What? You too? That's what I decided.
Really? Well, how do you like that? I went shopping this morning, and I'm really sold, honey.
I went this afternoon. I know it's the perfect car for us. And, dear, I met the most marvelous salesman.
Yeah? And so did I.
My salesman gave me so much time and was so careful to explain everything to me so I'd understand it. Such consideration. I told him we'd be back. Dear, we've just got to buy our wagon from him.
Well, I don't know, Doris. I sort of like the man I talked to, too. He really knew his car. Took me for a ride, showed me all the features, showed me how practical and economical it was to own a Ford station wagon.
But, Frank, mine was so nice.
Well, so was mine. And I used up an awful lot of his time, honey. Besides, he had a real clever idea. When I left, he gave me a new penny.
He did?
Yeah, it said that good pennies always come back.
Oh.
Well, what's that O for?
Oh, nothing. Frank, I have an idea. Let's put your salesman's card and my salesman's card in your hat and draw. And we'll buy from that salesman. Fair enough?
Yeah, I suppose so. At least it'll settle the argument. But I sure hope we draw my salesman. All right, honey, you go ahead. You draw.
Oh, Frank, I'm sorry. My salesman won.
Oh, doggone it. I never should agree to a woman's tricks. Beetle. Beetle, here's a new penny for you.
Gee, thanks, Dad. What's this for?
Well, it turned out to be bad with me. Maybe you can make it good.
Yes, Mr. Wilson. We decided we wanted that station wagon you showed me. That's right. And, Mr. Wilson, could you bring it out tomorrow afternoon when my husband's home?
Hello there. I brought that 9-passenger country sedan out for you.
Oh, hello. That's mighty thoughtful of you. I'd like to take it from you, but I'm just afraid we can't buy it.
Can't buy it? But your wife told me that...
Well, that's just it, Mr. Wilson. You see, it's because of my wife.
Oh, my, isn't it a beauty? Don't you just love it, Frank?
Yeah, but I was just telling Mr. Wilson we couldn't buy it from him.
Couldn't buy it from him? Why, of course we can, Frank.
But I thought we were going to buy from your salesman.
We are. When you told me about your salesman giving you a new penny, I knew we both had the same salesman, because he gave me a penny, too. I've just been teasing you, dear.
You've really done a good job, honey. You see, Mr. Wilson, I didn't know you were the salesman my wife had talked to.
We almost got into an argument about it. Probably would have, too, if Frank hadn't mentioned that wonderful idea using the penny. Then I knew we both had the same man. So, of course, the woman had to win. Come on, dear. Let's get our coats so we can go for a ride.
You sure know your business, Mr. Wilson. And I'm mighty happy it was you who did such a good job of selling my wife. You really sold her. In fact, you sold both of us.
Well, what do you know? What a shame they're husband and wife. I could have sold 2 wagons.